Hey friends! My name is Desiree, aka Mama Friendly, and I do all sorts of videos on my channel, from cooking videos to planner videos, vlogs, hauls, homeschool videos with a Disney twist, a little bit of everything. So if any of that sounds like fun to you, I hope you'll subscribe and join me on my YouTube adventure. Today's video is our monthly Foodie Friday collab, and it's basically a food free-for-all. Any recipe, any theme, anything that's just been on your mind or heart or stove lately, you're free to share it today. And this collab is hosted by my friend Tiffany of Small Town 6 and my friend Jessica of Jessica My Rose. I'm going to have both their channels linked down below, and I'm also going to link the playlist so that once you finish watching my video, you can check out what all my friends made this month as well. Now, I mentioned a Disney twist earlier, and today I am in fact putting a twist on a Disney recipe. I've got a brand new cookbook. I think it's pretty brand new generally. It only came out in the last month or so, but it's definitely brand new to me. It's called the Unofficial Disney Parks Restaurants Cookbook, and I'm going to have it linked in the description box below in case you'd like a copy for yourself. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, the holidays are coming up on us fast, and of course I wanted to make a recipe that you can easily use for your holiday celebrations. But what you might not know is that I eat gluten and dairy free, and for the last year, every single month I've been posting a Disney Parks copycat recipe that I've put an allergy-friendly spin on to make it so that you can bring the Disney Parks right into your home, but also enjoy these foods if you have an allergy and typically can enjoy them even in the parks. So today I'm going to show you how I made spoon bread, just like the kind you get at the Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Another popular Hollywood Studios recipe from the Brown Derby is their grapefruit cake. People come from all over and make reservations at the Brown Derby just to eat this world-renowned grapefruit cake. And I did an allergy-friendly spin on that recipe last year. So if you want to see how I did that, I'm going to post that video up here in the corner. But this recipe for spoon bread is almost like insulting how easy it is. It is absurdly tasty. It comes together extremely quickly. And so if you're looking for a yummy, sweet, but savory side to go with your holiday meals, I suggest you look no further. You just need a few simple ingredients, including a box mix, and I show you a workaround that you can use for an allergy-friendly version as well, obviously. But with just a handful of ingredients and a blender or food processor, you can have these little single-serve side dishes ready in no time flat. So now that I've set you all up, let's go ahead and see how we make them. Alright, pallies, I've got my cookbook right here. I've got my ingredients. We are ready to rock and roll. So for our spoon bread, we're going to deviate right away from the actual authentic recipe because we are doing ours gluten and dairy free. The original recipe calls for an 8.5 ounce box of Jiffy corn muffin mix. I could not verify whether this was gluten-free or not, but just in case, I did get my own gluten-free cornbread mix. However, this comes in a 20-ounce bag, so I will be measuring out 8.5 ounces of the cornbread mix. So right there, we might have a deviation in both flavor and texture because maybe the measurements are not going to be one-to-one, but we're for damn sure going to try. And if you are not gluten-free, then you already know your 8.5 ounce box of Jiffy corn muffin mix is going to be all you need. Next, we need a 14.75 ounce can of cream style corn. Mine is 14.25, so hopefully that's okay. And we also need 1 cup of canned whole kernel corn drained. So this is a 15.25 ounce can, but we're not going to use the whole can. We're only going to need 1 cup. We need 3/4 cup of sour cream. I've got Kite Hill alternative sour cream here. It is an almond and coconut based sour cream. And we're also going to need 1/4 cup of whole milk plain yogurt. I looked around for a dairy-free plain yogurt, but every single one that I've tried tastes awful. And I know that commonly people substitute sour cream for plain yogurt. So instead of doing 3/4 cup of sour cream and 1/4 cup of yogurt, I'm just going to do 1 full cup of sour cream for my version. We need a 1/4 cup of salted butter melted. So I'm going to be using, again, the Kite Hill version. This is a dairy-free spread. It is delicious. So I'm going to be using 2 ounces of this and melting it. We need 2 large eggs, 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This recipe is meant to be made in ramekins, and I do not own any ramekins, so I got these disposable ones off of Amazon. The recipe calls for 10, so I don't know how many we're going to actually use, but if you want to get these exact ones, I'm going to have them linked down below. And also, the recipe calls for you to make it in either a food processor or a blender so that you can get the kernel corn down to a certain texture. My food processor is notoriously too small for most recipes, so what I'm going to do is that instead of making the entire thing in the food processor, I'm going to blend the corn, etc., all of the wet ingredients, and then if I'm able to fit the cornbread mix in there as well at the end, great. If I can't, then I will mix the cornbread mix and the wet ingredients that come out of the food processor in a large bowl separately. But either way, we're going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to place my 10 ramekins on a cookie sheet, and I'm going to spray them all with nonstick cooking spray. My favorite is this avocado oil spray right here. I use it for everything. And there you go. Now that it's in focus, that's probably more helpful to you. So I'm going to grease the ramekins. I'm going to put them on a baking sheet for stability so that they're all on one surface, and I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to add all of my ingredients to your blender or your food processor, and we're going to blend 1 to 2 minutes, scraping down the sides until all the ingredients are combined and the corn pieces are broken down. So here goes everybody into the pool. First things first are 2 eggs. So there's 1 and 2. Bloop. My 3 tablespoons of just plain regular granulated sugar. I'm gonna toss in my entire 8-ounce container of sour cream. Remember, if you are using yogurt, then you'd be doing 3/4 cup sour cream and 1/4 cup of yogurt. We've got our entire can of cream style corn, and now I am going to measure out 1 cup of the regular kernel corn that I've drained. And I'm going to throw that in there as well. It makes me wonder why they want me to use whole corn if we're just going to pulverize it into smithereens anyways. But here we are. And we can't forget our 1/2 teaspoon approximately of salt. So I'm going to obliterate this. And depending on how much space I have, I may or may not throw my cornbread mix, whoops, there we go, in here as well. If it doesn't fit, then I will transfer this to a bowl and we'll mix our cornbread mix in there. Alright, I'm going to measure, because I have a scale, exactly 8.5 ounces, or as close to it as possible, of my mix. Again, if you're using a box that already has 8.5 ounces of mix, then you can skip this step. And I could just use like a volume measuring cup, but I worry that that's not going to be the same amount because it's not usually if you're doing volume versus weight, it's different. So that is exactly 8.5 ounces. I wanted to show you guys because I'm actually really proud of myself. It's so spot on. And it looks to me like we will have space in here for that. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, maybe I should use a tool of some sort to coerce that in without making it floof everywhere. All right. Just kind of disperse it throughout. And now I'm going to put this on high for about a minute. I'll scrape down the sides as needed, and it looks like we're going to get to incorporate our whole mix in the food processor after all. Alright, so I've got 6 of my ramekins here. I've got the other 4 on a separate little pan because it didn't all fit here and I didn't want to crowd them. We're going to fill the ramekins hopefully a little more delicately from now on. And we're gonna fill them about halfway up the tin. Let's see if we have enough to actually fill all 10, because the recipe might actually want smaller ramekins than this. These are 8-ounce ramekins, just for the record. Looks like we should have enough to fill all 10 about halfway. So that's good. Once they're filled, we're going to put them in the 375-degree oven for 20 to 30 minutes. You want to test their doneness by sticking a knife in the center of them and seeing if it comes out clean. You want to serve these immediately once they come out of the oven. They're best when they're nice and hot, and I'm going to be serving mine with more butter and with a drizzle of honey on top. Alright friends, there's my delicious Disney spoon bread recipe. It was, I can't think of a single reason to not make this recipe. So fast, so simple, really easy to find ingredients, absolutely delicious, like so good. Really good. And you very quickly come up with 10 servings. If people want seconds, that's great. If you've got a crowd, that's fantastic too. You're supposed to serve them right away while they're still piping hot, but I can confirm that even cold, they're great. They just take on sort of like a little more of a cornbready type texture. But my gosh, honestly, there is zero reason for you not to stop what you're doing right now and try this recipe. It is that dang good. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have that recipe book, that cookbook, linked down below in the description box so you can get it for yourself if you'd like. If you have any other ideas for Disney recipes that you'd like to see me try to adapt, I've got quite a few already in this playlist. But if there's anything that you don't see on it that you'd like to see me try to make allergy friendly, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to accommodate. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for being here and watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I hope you'll please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you would subscribe and click that notification bell, because I post at least 3 times a week and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. See you real soon.